The other thing I'll add to what Rosie said, after you make your cup of tea for fair trading and give them a chocolate biscuit, how many EAC members are here? I think the majority. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to ring EAC and I want you to tell us at fair trading in your office, and when they ask you for what they're going to ask you for, I want you to tell us. You won't be telling us, you'll be talking to either Greg or Lisa Jemison, and they will assist you as part of your membership through that process. Fair trading do get it wrong. There's one that Lisa Jemison's given us some advice on just now, where they find an agent for a particular matter and they actually did get it wrong. So we're about to send that to the Minister, I'm giving it to the reference group, and we're going to ask that that fine is actually reversed because the inspector did get it wrong. So on to our changing industry. All of you would have seen those companies I've got up there. Who's used Airbnb here? How'd you find the experience? Very good? So imagine if they call disruptive. I hate another disruptor. You have in 6 months, they don't even exist. Okay, and that's because of somewhat our industry is very slow to change. But that change is going to be forced on us, and it's going to come from other areas. Let's look at for sale by owner, been around a long time. They're all the made for sale by owner sites in Australia. Let's put it in perspective, 7,615 properties nationally. Realestate.com, you have somewhere around 295,000. Are they a big threat? I don't think so. Been around a long time and will remain there. Let's look at the new online agencies. Purple Bricks, has anyone come across Purple Bricks yet? 2 listings in your area currently on Purple Bricks. For those that aren't aware, $5,500, and you'll see the ads down here for Purple Bricks, no commission. It's not any commission, it's a selling fee. The selling fee is $5,500 payable on exchange or after 12 months, whatever occurs first. No incentive to sell, and whether the property is sold or not, the vendor is going to have to pay. If you ask me, if they had been in the market probably a year ago, they would have done a lot better, but as the market has slowed, I think they're going to come up a little bit more resistance. They are very big, they have very deep pockets, and to give you an idea, currently they have about 767 properties for sale nationally. They've sold 744, but the interesting thing there, we've seen a 72% increase in the last 3 months in the number of listings in New South Wales. Okay. The other tip I'll give you about Purple Bricks is that it's an open agency agreement. Okay. As far as the agents that are being attracted to Purple Bricks, are they the cream of the crop? I'll say I suggest not. My understanding is of that $5,500, the agent is getting about $2,000. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. There are disruptive companies out there, but they're not here yet. Okay, who's familiar with Open Door? Anyone heard of Open Door? Let me explain the Open Door experience. Vendor goes in, puts the address of their property in. Open Door come back with what's an AVM, which Kent will talk a little bit about later. Vendor, Open Door, agree on the price. Vendor puts in a move-out date, the transaction is done. No agent, no paperwork, it's all online. In the 2 markets of Dallas and Phoenix, they are taking significant market share. They're reselling those properties. Some they hang on to, some they don't. In 12 months, they're going to have $1 billion plus in revenue. The Australian market will come eventually. It's not only sales, let's talk about, say, Rent 360. Rent 360, landlord goes in, puts the address of the property in, flat fee service. The property is then managed all online. So the tenant has an issue with the hot water system, they put a request in online, it goes in, that automatically goes out to the tradesperson who fixes the hot water system, who then goes and says it's been fixed. Bill goes to owner, tenant gets notified, no property manager involved. And Lisa's going to talk a bit about Airbnb a bit later, but in Sydney in the last 12 months, 22,000 listings now, and they have doubled, and they've been doubling year on year for a while. In your area here, you've got about 181 listings currently. I'll just skip through some of this. So let's look at where we are today. So they are out there and they are active. In 5 years, your marketplace, as you know now, is going to get smaller as these new online agencies and the disruptive models come into play. That's going to be consumer driven. You can't stop it. If you look at the millennials today, who knows what a millennial is? You would have heard the terminology. Everything is done online. They don't email. They don't text. They don't ring. They're known as the now generation. They're the generation as they're coming through that will actually be using a lot of these, as well as those people that think they can save some money while get a better price. So in summary, you're still going to be around, but you're going to need to be more skilled and you're going to need to provide a better experience. And you need to understand that it's not all about the money. It is about that experience. And I can tell you that experience is something as agents we have to improve. So what does it mean? It means a smaller marketplace, less listings. Changes in traditional real estate office, we're already seeing it. A lot of the smaller offices are now falling by the wayside. They're going operating out of home. We're seeing an increase in the boutique agencies. We're seeing an increase in the merging of those middle-sized offices into super offices, and that is going to continue. You're going to change the way you communicate and transact. Okay, with all like messaging, in time to come, you're going to be messaging all your clients on the likes of Facebook Messenger and other platforms. Greater compliance, we're talking about. I mean, Rosie's just spoken about underquoting. I'm sorry to say, but the questions we get at the Insights and the questions I get from agents, there's just so much that you don't know, that you should know. And that's what we've got to fix, and that's what we're working with Fair Trading on. The other one there is the pressure reduction on your fees. We've been out in the country areas in recent months. They're still getting 3.3% on their sales and 7 to 8% on their rentals. Yesterday we were in Baulkham Hills, down to 0.9 or 1% on sales and around 5% on property management. What are you getting here? About 2% still? Yes, no? And what about property management? 5, 6, still getting 6? So, your fees are going to reduce, your marketplace is going to reduce, but your marketing costs and business costs are increasing. How much did Real Estate Document put their fees up recently? 15, I've heard anywhere between 15 to 25%. They think everyone gets vendor paid, but I can tell you that not everyone does, and it's not a good situation. So we really need to change the way we think. We need to adapt to the change, raise the professional industry, which we're talking about a bit later, and it all comes back to that service level to customers. So what we've been doing is looking at ways you can provide that better experience without all the cost. So the first one of those is video. How many people are using video currently in their part of their marketing? Okay, I had 3, 4 hands up. Video, you've all, I'm suggesting already on Facebook, you'll see that Facebook is really pushing video now, and the amount of video that's on Facebook. They're saying that by 2020, 75% of global mobile traffic will be video. Again, it's all consumer driven. For those that have kids, I have a daughter that's 15. She lives on YouTube, she lives on these video sites, and it's what they watch now. If you're not using video, then I'd suggest you're behind some of your competitors. So if we have a look in we saw a big jump in 2014 to 2015 and then to 16, and I can tell you that in the first 3 months of this year there was a 35% increase on top of last year on people using video as part of their listings. So one of the issues with video when we went out and looked at it was you're going to pay anywhere between $300 to $1,500 for a professional video. You've got to then organise someone to go out and do that video and manage the whole process. So we went and looked at what was available for video, and we've come up with what we call the house lens product, or EAC video marketing. Now this is a very silly question, but who has one of these? Who takes video on these currently? Do you all use this for video? Yeah. Pictures? So the solution that we came up with, and I'm going to swap mics here and let me know if you can't hear me. Is a stabiliser. So have you seen one of these before? No? So what happens is your phone goes in this stabiliser like this, and when I turn on the stabiliser, it actually stabilises my phone. Okay? So as I walk along, I'm not getting the movement. That's part one of capturing the professional video. The other part of the solution is a wide-angle lens.
But it's a bit hard to hear from the back.
I'll try and, if you can juggle, yeah, okay. I'm just going to swap to my phone here. The big one here. Okay, so we're on my phone now. The other part of the solution is a wide-angle lens. So if I was to go into my camera and look at the room, you can see what we're capturing. If I now put my wide-angle lens on, you can see we've got a much wider angle. Okay? So it's allowing you to capture more of the actual room. As far as the actual application, before I actually started today, I went and captured a couple of clips. So you'll see here in the application, you're going to put the address in. We've got an agent introduction. So you can have either turn the camera around to face yourself, or have someone else hold the stabiliser with the phone, and you can introduce the property, introduce yourself. You can then go through and capture clips in the various areas of the house. We can actually go in here and we can actually edit all the clips on here as well. So if I wanted to edit this one slightly, just edit it there, click save, and it's done. If I wanted to go and add a clip, it's as easy as hitting record. It's going to give me a countdown, and I'll get you to a wave because this is all live. You'll see on there auto exposure as well. We did, in our initial testing, we found that there were some issues with lights, certain lighting conditions. So for those familiar with photography, what we can actually do is we can choose a good light source, such as the outside, hit auto exposure, and then it's going to capture that exposure and maintain it for the... So having captured all the different videos, we can go and actually select a music track. These are all royalty-free music tracks that you can actually do. And the last one we can do is a voiceover. So if you do the voiceover option, it'll play the video back to you, and you can do a full voiceover for the video. Having done all that, I can hit preview. And how many people here have their own YouTube account? That's good to see. YouTube, very important for search engine optimization. If you're not aware, Google actually owns YouTube. And what happens with these videos, after we preview them and hit upload, this is the sample here we've just done. That's us just now. Such a happy bunch. And our backyard. You would have noticed at the beginning, at the end of the video, it had EAC branding. That would be your branding, along with the watermark down the bottom there. Okay, so if I was to go and hit upload now, that would be automatically uploaded to YouTube. Then you'll receive an email in about 10 minutes saying here's the URL to your video. You'll take that, put it into your listing management software, and it'll go on all the different websites. Within the app, you can also share it to social media. Don't forget social media. The uptake of the app has been very good. I'll tell you now, we have endorsement agreements in place with Bell Property. Bell were the first. Bell are pushing it for all their property management. So point of difference for property managers here, video. We've also got endorsement agreements in place with one agency in Lang & Simmons and the Elders Group. Elders have now purchased, I don't know, we're up over 70 stabilisers that we've been working with them to roll out across their offices across Australia. So they've just bought another 20 for South Australia, and we're working with them now. What do you think?
I've used it, David. It's fantastic, particularly for property management, you say.
Yeah, so Julian's just saying she's used it for property management. So how much, I said for a typical video, you're paying $300 to $1,500. How much do you think? What do you think the cost is? Come on, someone. $100? No.
It's $3.95 per video.
So, for as little as $15 per video, that's all you're looking at. At $15, there is no excuse not to be putting a video on every one of your sale listings and every one of your property management listings. As far as the stabiliser, for EAC members, the investment is $374 once off. Okay, so you buy the stabiliser. Another tip for the stabiliser, the offices some offices that have bought it, they're using it to do Facebook live auctions on the weekend. You can also take it to the kids' sport, and you can do many other things with it. Any questions on video? We actually have some stabilisers here to purchase if you're interested. And if so, just see George, and George can assist you. I'll just play an example here for you.
The team from Elders Merimbula are pleased to introduce you to number 1 of 84 Surf Circle in Tura Beach. This property is to be auctioned on the 15th of April at 12 noon in Les Sol Prior. This duplex offers freedom and convenience with the space of a freestanding home. I look forward to seeing you at our open homes, which we are conducting every Saturday from 11 till 11:30 a.m.
Get the idea? I think that was their third attempt. For the officers that are using it now, in under 15 minutes, they're putting the video together and having it on YouTube. I'll tell you, some of them are actually using it in their listing presentations. They're taking the stabiliser out with their listing presentation. Some agents are charging, I know one agent charging $50 to the client for it, so they are passing some of the cost on, and others are just bundling it as part of their services. Any question on video? Okay, we'll move on. So we're going to move on to a new type of technology. Who's had experience with virtual reality here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands. Does anyone know what virtual reality is? So virtual reality is basically reality, but it's captured at another point in time. So I'll give you an example. When we were doing a lot of testing at EAC, I had one of these VR headsets, and you're going to receive one of these. And I put it on someone at the office, and what I'd put on was a YouTube video. It was a Discovery Channel, and it was underwater with a shark. And And she turned around and saw this shark swimming straight at her as if she was in the water, and the scream was pretty loud, I can tell you. So let's bring it back to real estate. Cost has come down a lot. So to capture VR, we need a 360 camera. Anyone seen one of these? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this on. And once again, I'm going to use my phone. And again, if you can take a picture on your phone, you can take a 360 picture. The camera you see here is a Ricoh Theatre S. We've tested the all number of different 360 cameras. Glenn from JB Hi-Fi talked a little bit about that later. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into the app which is on my phone, and to capture this room in 360 I just press one button. So we've now captured everyone sitting here basically in VR. So to demonstrate that, what I'm going to do, I'll just bring the image down to my phone. This is a Samsung Gear. So you're looking at about $130, $140 for these. What I suggest, property managers in the room, when you've got a potential tenant come in and want to look at what rentals you have, what are you giving them currently? Piece of paper? I can tell you this office is already doing it overseas. What you can do with this solution I'm about to show you and what you'll be doing in years, you'll have a good pair of this headset in your office, and you're going to sit them in a room. You need to make sure that there's not a lot in that room, because they're going to stand up and turn around as if they're in the house. They're going to view your properties in virtual reality. On the other side of it, let's talk about sales. You can't give everyone a set of those headsets, but they are being sold. The other side of it is what we call Google Cardboard 2. And I'll just put this together. These are cost about $10 to $12. And what I'm going to do is make a cardboard headset. Then all I do is put my phone in there. Rod, just stand up for me. Have a look and just turn around to your seesaw. Rod is now looking at this room in VR. That's how easy and quick it is. What do you think, Rod?
That's amazing.
So I'll hand that around and you can just all have a look. The technology's come a long way. This camera here, you're looking at about $470 once off. The solution that we're about to release, these tools can be created on your smartphone yet again. They can be viewed on the desktop, so it's just not limited to the headsets. You also get a URL which you can put in your listings, which will appear on the internet. You've got a fully immersive walkthrough, which I'll explain in a minute. And again, we keep talking about a better experience, and we keep talking about keeping the agents involved in the transaction. Has anyone heard of Matterport here? Anyone use Matterport? Matterport offer a similar service, anywhere between $4 to about $1,100 per property, but it's not interactive. So I'm just going to jump over to here. And I know Lisa walks up the front, it's a sign I've got to hurry up. So, here is a 360 tour captured on this camera, and I can tell you that it's about the same time as a video. So these hot spots you see here with 360 on them, what that does, if I click on one of those, that will take me into that next room. I can look around that room. as if you're in there. You notice my tripod is set about this height. That's because when you actually are taking these images, you want to capture it at the height that someone's going to be looking at it, because it is VR. If I had these goggles on here, and I had my phone in here, I would simply look at that 360 image. Don't touch anything. Simply look at it in the VR headset, and it will take me to that next room. Okay? Now, we're doing this here, but people are about to click on your listings on the web and do it there. And we're not just restricted to desktop. Now, I keep talking about the experience. The really good part of this solution I like is what I can do is I can actually invite one, I can invite up to 25 people to my virtual inspection. Anywhere in the world, anywhere you are. Okay? So that's just gone out. So Rod, if I can use you to assist again. So through to my iPad has just come a fully branded, for your branding, invitation to Rod to view this property. So we've just clicked view online, and what is going to happen here, is it coming up, Rod? Rod has just appeared. So I can now see what Rod is doing there. So you can't all see the iPad, but as I turn around, Rod, are you moving? So what room are you in now?
The hallway.
Okay. Everything I do here is being replicated there. So you're in the next room.
Yeah.
So you can, as you would normally at an open inspection, you can walk them through, but virtually. The other good part of this, what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to say I want to follow Rod. And this is where it gets very interesting. So you're out doing the inspection, you're taking note of what they're actually looking at, what they're doing. So what I can do now is as Rod changes there, I'm watching Rod. What do you think? Yes, no? Okay. We'll be releasing this service on the 1st of September, so if you're interested, let us know today, because we're looking for a couple of offices to actually help us test it out. So, my last question then, I always ask this question, I keep coming back to better experience, lower fees, higher marketing costs. How much do you think? For per tour, so think of it per property. John, someone take a guess.
250.
250? How about I give you 5 of them for $68? Okay. This technology is coming, and it's all about the experience, and it's all about the consumer. And just think of that. And these are listing tools. Think of the old realtor. It was a listing tool. These are about the consumer experience on one side, but they're also designed to help you get that listing, provide that point of difference. The other thing with all this technology, we don't expect you to be the expert. We bought multiple cameras. We tested multiple things. I'll introduce Glenn from JB Hi-Fi a bit later, but what we've done with JB Hi-Fi is put in a special arrangement for members where you can go and buy your technology from JB Hi-Fi and at a good discount as well.